The public lecture I went to see was on why science matters to society. Some key reasons are because science brings pleasure. It also is like steps to progress. Science is like the new frontier. Also, science gets people to see and appreciate what they pay for and what acts around them. The first speaker talked about science, society, and humanity. It means to know. Research / experimentation is extremely pivotal for science, society, and humanity. Innovation is also key. For example, satellites. It is important not to forget how significant this innovation is. For example, we would not be able to use any of our phones or a GPS. Science is like a part of us, just like any limb, and it allows functionality. The next speaker talked about thinking gets you pregnant. This was a little weird to me when I first heard the title. And her story was pretty weird as the title. But however, this was the winner of the competition, and she talked about how when she was younger, she asked her mother how people got pregnant, and her mother says, well, when you really want it, and when you think about it, and when you're ready, you get pregnant. So she was afraid to think about getting pregnant because she thought it got you pregnant. And the main theme and point of her presentation was that curiosity is imperative, and it's important to think about everything that goes around you, and how life is important. For example, the way birds fly is inspired by airplanes, and nature is infused in a lot of science's best ideas. Now, what's even weirder than this topic was the one about beer and being an engineer. This is a little weird, but it talked about how science is involved, again, in our everyday life. For example, fermentation and everything makes beer what it is to be. And the guy who was speaking went around and asked a lot of his friends what it was to be an engineer. And his one country redneck friend said, well, the best part of being an engineer is cold beer. That's the thing. Being an engineer is so important in every facet of life. Whether it be cold beer or the computer in which you type, it is, even the little things that science does matters to basically every type of person. So, another thing I want to highlight is what the keynote speakers was talking about, microelectronics. So, this is our new technology, and it's so crazy to me how something so small can do so much. It's in every iPhone, it's in every computer. It's a new frontier, and as Dr. Kressler said, it is a single primitive building block of all electronics. He sat around a disk of microprocessors, and he was talking about how small they were, and everybody was just so confused because in everyday life you don't really think about what runs what you need. So, in all, it was important to really think about how science acts in everyday life and to see why science does matter in society, because it plays a pivotal role in everything we do.